What's happening? This is Matthew Blackburn here, coming out of my brand new ride. It's at least new to me. As you can tell, it's not very new. My wife's been making fun of me for buying this van. She goes, man, you're a youth director. You missed driving the van all summer long. You had to buy one. She's probably a little bit right there. And I just want to take a moment. I know we're getting into the school season and we're kind of ending the summer, but before we end the summer, I don't want us to miss out on what happened this summer. I know we can think about a lot of things that we've missed this summer, and that's why I bought this van. There's some things that are important, things that we really think are more than just a check sheet, but something important, from mission trips to Wilderness Trail to buddy camp to even just spending that time together in fellowship this summer. But I think there's something more we can take away from this summer, just the things we missed. And as a staff, we've been feeling the things we missed, but we've been really working on thinking about where we live at. And we've been thinking about even how this is a story of us being the early church and things of that nature. And Keith and I have been talking. Actually, I got Keith hanging out in my van because it's a rad van.
Hey Matthew. Hey guys. I miss being in the van too. I miss Wilderness Trail. I miss the mission trips. It's been a really different summer. And Matthew and I were talking about this. And you know, it's kind of like it was with that very first church. The disciples were with Jesus. You know, they thought it was going to go a certain way. They thought this Messiah thing is what they'd learned about in their confirmation class, I suppose. This is what it's going to be like. And then it just didn't happen that way. Like everything was turned upside down with Jesus' arrest and crucifixion. And, you know, even with the resurrection and Jesus showing up, that was pretty crazy too. And then he ascends and now all of a sudden they're alone and they're like, how are we going to do this? They had to figure things out. And you know, what Jesus promised them came true. This gift of the Holy Spirit, this promise, I will always be with you. You'll never be alone. And you'll be the church. You'll be together. And so there was a little bit of persecution. It wasn't cool to be a follower of Jesus. And so they were scattered. And you know what they discovered? That along the way, God was present. Jesus was present. And they were together. And there was this spark. And there was this fire. And amazing things happened. And you know, so I think about us. We have in our minds, this is what summer's going to be like. This is what fall is going to be like. I remember on trail, I think it was a couple of years ago. Y'all know how it is. It's raining when you start. I had actually never been in rain like this on a backpacking trip, and I've been backpacking since I was 16. Like the trail was a flood, and I'm like, this is not going to be fun. I think we were all feeling it. Like there's no way we're going to have a campfire. It's just going to be different. It's not going to be what we expected. You know, when you get to your camp, especially the first night, the fire and the food and sitting around and telling your stories and stuff. Well, we get to the camp and Mikey, we had Mikey. Who knew? He was taught by the legendary Bill Lamar, and he taught our group. You guys who were in my group, you remember this, how to build a wet fire. We were gathering wood from trees. We were whittling stuff. I mean, it took us a while and it was hard work. But before it was all said and done, we had a fire, our shoes were drying, we ate good food, and we worshiped in this circle. And it happened. We found a way for it to happen. And it was because we had Mikey. And it was because we had the Holy Spirit. And I think about this past summer, and we kind of want you to reflect on it too. Like, yeah, it was really different. But we also found ways, this spark that was in us. It would be different for me. Like, I was just really amazed at our church for providing the porta potties, the porta johns, and the hand washing stations for needy people in our community. I think about the manna pop-up that happened right here, like all the people and the hundreds of people that got food. And it was done in this crazy different way. It wasn't normal. The youth mission trips this summer, walking down the street and doing stuff. Experiences that you've had with your friends and your family. Nothing this summer has been like what we imagined it would be, and the fall is probably going to be the same. But this is the thing. As we remember this stuff, as we reflect on these things, we give thanks to God that God is with us. We give thanks to God that we're the church together, like we've got each other, even though we're in isolation and all this stuff. And we remember that not only are we loved, not only are we forgiven, but we're also needed. God needs us into this future, and I'm pretty pumped about being the church with you guys and just figuring that out and knowing not just sparks are going to happen, fires are going to happen, and it's going to be amazing. Y'all have a great day.
So before we forget about what's happened this summer, and I hope we just take a moment to know that we all experienced this something so much greater. It might not look like the Chapelwapa Trail, it might not look like the end of a mission trip, but man, we still felt it. And we still felt these things, that we were needed, that we were loved, and we were forgiven. And I hope you guys know that as you continue this school year. These experiences might feel different, but the spirit that's behind it is always the same. We love you guys, and good luck with everything. We'll see you around soon. And one more thing, it wouldn't be a youth talk unless we start talking about the lunchroom. And I know it's a little different lunchroom this year, but come on guys, we're crying out loud. Sit next to your sister. She's the only other person in the house. Come on, just sit and be nice.